Hey guys, this is Andrew Waters back again with another episode of Studio Tutorials. I'm going to jump right into it here. I've got my Jeep Wrangler that I have as a customer build that I have taken some chunks off of to start working into the digital format of Studio. So what I've got here is just one part of it, and I'm actually going to go through and kind of show you the functions that we've got here on Studio so that we can build this little chunk, and then we can go from there. I can transfer the whole Jeep over so that later on I can use the parts list on this and make instructions and turn around and do something with it. So I can actually recreate it if I want to, or I can turn around and sell the instructions. So when you have Studio opened up right here, normally your basic screen when you start a new program, you'll have either the background screen here with or without the grid, and you can flip this on and off by going to View up at the top here and hide ground. I'm gonna keep it on for just a little bit, but then I'll probably turn it off once I get some alignment done on parts and pieces. Just to kind of start out here, what I want to do is I want to look at my chunk of my Jeep, and I want to kind of find out where the best place to start on this piece is, and this will be the first couple steps of what will eventually be an entire MOC. It's a creator expert sized 95 Jeep Wrangler. So I'm just going to jump right into it here. I know down at the bottom left is where the video is at, so you can't see the list. Let me move the screen just a little bit. There's the cursor. Oh, it's being fussy. There we go. Okay, now you guys can see it a little bit better. Right above where my video comes in, there's a list over here of different categories of bricks, plates, doors, windows, all kinds of different stuff where you can actually access the parts and pieces that you're looking for. I'm going to grab my mouse pad and dump something else off. So first off, I'm going to start out with a 6x6 basic plate. Okay, so we're going to go in here and click on our color icon right here, and you can either go into all, it gives you like a chunk, like a block chunk of categories, or you can go into this side right here where it actually gives you the breakdown of all the colors that are available. The thing I like about this side over here is that if you press this little drop down, you have solid colors, transparent colors, chrome colors, pearl colors, and metallic, milky, glitter. There's all kinds of different stuff in here. Sparkle, there's speckle, I should say. Anyhow, for now, I'm just going to go into solid colors and start out with black. And if you click on it once, it'll come up with all the parts that are available in black right here. I know that there is a function in here. Seems like this is the moment for pop-ups. There is a function in here to show only the pieces that are available in this color. I don't remember right off the top of my head where it's at. But what I'm going to do is go over to my left side, and I'm going to press plate. And it'll think for a second, and then it'll bring up all the different plate options that are available in black. And what we're looking for is this 6x6 right here. There is also a function in Studio where you can turn on and turn off the plates and the tiles that have illustrations on them. We'll get into that later on. But for now, let's just go ahead and grab a 6x6 plate, and we'll just kind of put it right in the middle of our project board. Now I'm going to hit escape, so that makes it go away, and then we'll start out with the next piece on our build here. That one plate right there is our first step, so that'll start step 1 right there, and we'll want to add a step after that. I'm going to go over to my left side again, and I'm going to look for brick. Now see also that these will stay in the color that you initially select up until you change colors to something else. If I want to change the colors, there's a whole color palette over here, but we'll go into that at a later video. So for now, I'm going to grab a 2x6 brick, and you'll see it immediately popped up right over here in my step 2. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that on the plate. Now what I want to do, it's just personal preference, but I want to go ahead and change the direction of this brick. So I'm going to press the left arrow, which will change the direction of the brick. You can press the down or up arrows and it will actually change the position of the brick relative to the ground that you're looking at. For right now, we'll go ahead and put that right there in the center, and then I'm going to hit escape again, because unless I need this brick again, I don't want to have another one sitting here, so I'm going to hit escape. Notice that gave me a simple step 1 and a step 2, okay? And now you have what's called step view right here. I'm going to click on that, and that will actually give me the option to do different camera angles. We'll get into that on another video. But for now, what I want to do is I want to add another step, and I want to go in and put in a Technic brick. Okay, and you'll notice that all of these different categories over here on the left are pretty similar to the categories that are available on Bricklink. So if you're familiar with Bricklink, most of these, it's kind of a condensed version, but most of these are mirror image off of Bricklink. Okay, you'll see the Technic brick 1x6 with holes. That's over here, and I'm going to go ahead and select one of those. Okay, it didn't come up the way I want to put it in, so I'm going to go ahead and hit my left arrow, and it'll switch it to the direction that I want it to go. We'll go ahead and click one right there, and we'll click one right there. Remember to hit escape at the end, and that'll take you out of having that part where you're not trying to click it over here to the side. You've got a whole bunch sitting on the side. You'll see over here, again, step 3 gives you the option to have a camera. If I don't like this step, I can always delete it, but the bricks will stay present until I delete the bricks. So that's an important piece to remember, because if you just take a step away because you don't want the bricks will stay there until you actually manually delete them. Okay, so I'm going to press both the left and the right button and hold on my mouse, and you can see it will change the direction that I'm looking at on this project, but it also brings up this box over here in the middle. Okay, this is handy if you want to grab a group of parts. You can highlight the whole thing, and that will allow you to do a variety of different functions on it. The one that I found that's most helpful is if you have a hinge plate and you want to change like a hood or a door, the angle that it's sitting at, you can get your piece set to just the right way to where you can view it, you know, like bird's eye, and then you can select that entire door or that entire hood chunk, and you can use that hinge to actually direct it where you need to go. We'll get into that at a later video. But for now, left click, back onto our program here. So the next piece that I want to find, I want to make sure and add a step here. Okay, just for sake of conversation, let's forget to add the step, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to look for what's called a Technic Linker. These are your pins that everybody has like umpteen thousand of. Okay, and I am going to use the 3-ong Technic pin right here. Okay, now if you see this has got green around it right now, it's going to try to automatically feed it into wherever it's supposed to go. So even if I'm looking at it at an odd angle like I am right here, I can still feed these Technic pins in, and when I go back in and kind of shift this around in just a minute, you can see that. In addition, what I can do is click left and right button and hold together, and I can still change the angle of this, and it doesn't bring that box up that I was talking about earlier, so that I can make sure that I actually got the pins in the right place. But I'm going to come back over here, release the right button, and still hold with the left, and I can still move this pin around. I'm still holding the left button. I'm going to press the left arrow key twice, and now my pin is facing the right direction to go ahead and put it into place. Now you'll notice I let off the left key, it still has a hold of this pin. I'm going to go ahead and set it in there, then click on the button. And again right here. Okay? Go ahead and hit escape. Now I've got all these Technic pins and they're in the wrong step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on step 3. I'm going to add a step. Okay? I'm going to highlight step 4, and then I could either move these pins manually, or what I like to do is just take the lesser of the amount of pieces that went in, and I'm going to move them down to the next step. Okay? So when you're in step view, it'll show 1, 2, 3. Clearly that's not right. So we're going to move 3 down below 4. Okay? So now we got 3 and we got 4. Everything's in the right order, just where it needs to be. Hopefully you guys are tracking on that, and I'm explaining it clearly enough that everybody's kind of following along. I'm going to go ahead and add a step. We're going to go back and find some more of the Technic bricks right here. Go back and find a couple more of the 1x6s. Here again, half the time when you bring up a brick or a plate, it'll be the direction you want it to be, and half the time it won't. So you'll get pretty used to using the right and left and up and down arrows on your keyboard to get these to go the direction you want it to go. I just gave it a simple left click right there, and if you notice on here, it popped right into place on the Technic bricks where I want it. I'm going to left click, come back over here, and I'm not really sure if that's going on. I mean, it looks right, but I'm going to click and hold left and right mouse key so that I can bring my view back around. Okay, I released both buttons. I'm going to bring it in, and you can see where it actually lines up there on the face of the Technic brick, so it's in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and press on the left mouse button there. Okay, press escape, and now we did it again. We were in step 4 with all the pins, but I've got these 2 bricks that shouldn't be in that step. So now how do we get out of that? Because we keep adding it to the wrong step. Well, if you click step 5, which is our last step, add a step, you'll notice step 5 is still highlighted. So whatever I put in next is automatically going to attempt to go to step 5 rather than step 6 where it needs to be. So I'm going to click on step 6. That will kind of reset the system so that now it's all back in place. Okay, and you'll notice that as I go through the steps and the pieces, it'll give me kind of a ghost highlight as to where all the parts and pieces are, so that later if I need to track something down, I can do that easily. For step 6, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in some 1x10 bricks on the bottom of this, and I need to turn this completely over to be able to do it. So I'm going to flip it around, and you'll notice that the ground disappeared off this, which is kind of a new feature. That's pretty nice. Now, I don't like how it's sitting kind of right in the middle of my bar count piece right here, where you can see it's got 10 total parts right now. So I'm going to press the space bar, left click, and I can drag this around to wherever I need it to go. Okay, so there it's centered. I can zoom out using the scroll wheel on the mouse. I can zoom in so that I can get details in if I need to put pins or something in. So we'll leave it like that for now. We're going to go back and click on step 6 so that we're in the right place. And then I'm going to go find brick. We're going to go to 1x10 brick. And you'll notice it automatically comes in upside down because it adjusted to the way that we have the project set up right now. But I still need to turn it one time. So I give it a little click there with the arrow. And I'm going to put it in. And I'm going to put it in. Now I'm pretty sure that those came in the right way. I think they're in the right place. But I also want to make sure that whoever is viewing this after me, they can understand exactly what I did. So I'm going to take the space bar, drag this down just a little bit, and then I'm going to come down to step 6, and I'm going to click the camera icon right here. Okay. So what this is essentially going to do for us, there we go. What this is essentially going to do for us is it's going to set up the camera to change. Hit escape there. See, for step 1, we're going to set the camera about like that. Okay, and then once I get down to step 6, like if I click on 5, you can see where I'm at here. I click on 6, there you go. Now the 1x10 bricks can be seen in the location that they need to go. This will also let the person know that they need to turn the piece over. I'm going to go into add another step, click on step 7 to make sure and reset it to the next step, and then I'm going to find some slopes. Gotta find a 1x3 inverted slope, which is right here. Okay, and it showed up right down there at the bottom right in step 7, slope inverted. So we're going to go ahead and place this guy here, there. We're going to turn it around. So I clicked my left arrow twice, and then there's a gap of 2 studs in between. So I'm going to turn this, and remember, when you're upside down, it turns backwards. So you'll kind of get used to that as you go. But here's my 4 slopes right here. I'm going to press escape, and now we're good to go on that. And remember, when this comes up, you'll still be in the camera angle from step 6. So until we actually change the angle again, it'll stay in this format. I want to come in, not really sure, I think that's a 2x8, but we're not quite ready for it yet. I think we can still manage to do it though. So let's go ahead and grab a brick. We're going to go 2x8, and it's going to come in upside down. And what I think I'm probably going to do here is I'm going to try and squeeze it into place. Now you'll notice when I'm trying to do this, it's trying to attach it to either the top of this or to the bottom, depending on where I'm at. So kind of play with it a little bit, and eventually you'll be in the right place. So I want to put a 2x8 there, and it looks like I'm using another 2x8 on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and put another 2x8. See, here it is, kind of fighting me a little bit. So I'm going to keep turning my project until I can sneak it underneath just like that. And there you go. So now you have the 2 2x8s in. And what I also need to do here, looks like I went full-size screen on that. I need to come down to the bottom of my step list again, and I forgot to add a step last time, so I'm going to click on step 7, add step. That'll put it back in order. We're going to move our 2 bricks, and we're going to add another step and click on step 9. Okay, the next piece that we need in here is just another simple 2x6 brick. So it's still kind of arguing with us a little bit. So remember, when you're upside down, it's backwards on the directions. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in place. Right there. Okay. Hit escape. Add a step. And it looks like we're going to need a dark blue-gray 1x10 plate. So we're going to click on our color box here, and we're going to scroll down to dark bluish gray, and this will bring up all the pieces that are dark blue gray. We'll go into plate, which is right here, and we'll look for a 1x10 plate. Now on this particular setup, it does matter where the plate's going to go because there's that 2x6 brick and it needs to go right on top of it. So we're going to go ahead and put that right there. And then it looks like I need another black piece. I should have gotten that earlier, but it's pretty simple to just click on the color box, go right back into black, grab us another Technic brick, and we'll stick that in there right behind the gray plate. Okay, so now you've got 2 different parts that should be in step 10. add a step. Now we're in step 11. Okay, so these two parts, even though they're different colors, they did go into step 10 together. That way the end user knows that those two pieces can go in basically at the same time because they're in the same place. So step 11, we're going to go back into the dark gray. Now the nice thing about Studio, it gives me what's called content colors. So I can go up here to the middle right, and I can click back on the dark bluish gray, and it should, okay, I guess it's not going to do that. Okay, so I accidentally set a brick out here in my build. Okay, so I've got the brick highlighted. All I have to do to remove it is just press delete. Okay, so we're going to be back down on step 11. Get into our color box. Dark bluish gray. Okay, I'm going to find plate, and I'm going to go with a 1x8 plate right here. That'll go across the top of this. Okay, and I can go ahead and add a 1x4 in black. Let's see. I've got a 1x4 right here, but it's in dark bluish gray. I'm going to escape. So I've got that in dark bluish gray. Let's see if I can click the content colors. Now it's black. Okay, so now we're good to go. So now I've got the right part there. So I can come through here, and as I add content colors to the list, I can place a plate out of a different color and then select the proper color for it to be. The other nice thing is I can use content colors or the color palette up here to kind of change around, kind of play with the colors of some of the bricks, and then I can bounce them off of the list over there on the far right to make sure that they're actually available in the proper color, because if they're not, normally they'll come up with either an exclamation mark, or a little yellow triangle with a exclamation mark in it that lets me know that that part is not available or it has an error to it. Okay, so we're going to do just a couple more steps here, and then we'll be done with this chunk. I'm going to add step, make sure that I'm in step 12. I'm going to go in and get back into black. Okay, and I'm going to go Technic brick 1x1. Okay, we're upside down still. I can place this right here, and I need another one right here, but the problem is that I need those to be turned 90 degrees so that they're kind of facing out the side. And I've already placed them in, so I'm going to go ahead and select the brick that I need to change, and then I'm just going to simply turn it in place. So now you can see that it's changed just 90 degrees. Same thing with this one. If it's already in place, I just switch it 90 degrees and it's good to go. It's where we need it to be. We're going to add a step. Step 13. Looks like I need another Technic Linker. Another 1x3, which is right here. I'm going to switch it to the correct position. It's going to go right into place. Add a step. Now this is kind of cool. We're going to go in and we're going to find not solid, not transparent, not chrome, pearl flat silver. It's either going to be flat silver or dark gray. And this is one that I'm not familiar with. I'm not sure if it's in the linker section. Yes, it is right here. This is an exhaust pipe. So we're going to put that right there on the end of it, and that will complete the process for this evening. Okay. So you got your basic project here. We were able to turn this over, add some bricks and slopes to it, add some plates to it, some linkers, and I kind of explained a little bit about how to use the directional format. If you've got this turned right side up and you want that thing to go away, just remember, view, hide ground, and now you can actually see what your project looks like without the ground sticking out the middle of it. So I hope this has been an educational tutorial to kind of get you guys started on working on your own Studio MOC, Studio program. and I'll continue to go over more steps as the build is completed. Give you some kind of snot techniques and some other stuff with some suspension components that I've worked on. And here's like an example of the snot piece that goes down on the bottom of it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Look me up on Facebook, Andrew Waters 9406, and send me a friend request, and you can follow along on the builds as they get released. Thanks for joining me this evening, and you guys have a great night.